Oh, hello there, and today I'm going to be deorbiting a space station, so I guess for now, watch my silent footage, because I still haven't figured out how to add music to the background without violating copyright law. Well, I'll figure that out one day. For now, I don't know what to say from here. Oh, good thing I have 35 minutes to talk. Yeah, it's going to be my longest video yet. Probably not the longest total, but yeah. I guess all my Kerbal Space Program videos are probably going to be kind of long. and not that good. I'll get around to making shorter videos at some point, I guess. In fact, my very first video was a 24-second clip from Kerbal Space Program. But anyways, now I'm already getting into orbit because I sped this part up. I don't think anyone wants to watch me launch at normal speed. But it could be worse. I could be launching that like 300-part super rocket that I used to get to the outer edges of the system. Used to use. I'll bring it back one day. Yeah, that's it. Because if you're wondering, I have a huge rocket that I use to launch my nuclear-powered mothership thing that I take to places like Moho and Elu. Well, actually, that Elu mission is still waiting, but still. Anyways, that's my space station, because in this video, I don't know how I've mentioned it yet, but I'm going to be deorbiting my space station. But first, I have to get the crew off of the station, which is what this mission is for. Now, I actually attempted this earlier, but I forgot to add heat shields and parachutes onto the ship, and I also screwed some things up in the docking, so that didn't actually go according to plan, unfortunately. That's why you always check to make sure that you brought parachutes and stuff. It's the #1 mistake that most people have made at least once. But yeah, so this is one of my... So I recently learned how to do this, or actually it's been a few months now, but still not the best in the world at docking, and you're gonna see me later in the video take like 15 minutes, or in real life it's 15 minutes, but I sped that part up for your convenience and stuff. But you're gonna see me spend like 15 real life minutes trying to dock with my station. And that's using that one method that this guy, I think he's Matt Lown, who's a much bigger KSP YouTuber, had created. I'm sure he's not the only one who came up with the idea, but I used that guy's method for docking, and even then I still screwed it up and took 15 minutes. And if you're wondering, that guy's method for docking is pretty simple. What you do is set both objects, or both of the things that you're trying to dock together, as targets, and you specifically set the docking ports as the targets for each other, basically. Or if you want an in-depth explanation, go to his video. I might or might not link it in the comments section. Or not the comment section, the description. I don't know why I would comment the link when... I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but... Yeah, for now, I'm separating from the second stage. I actually forgot to put the, I forgot to put what's it called? A little probe core thing on there. So I was unable to bring that thing down, unfortunately. But, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter in the long run. It's not the reason I lost my 2 older saves. If you wondered, both of those saves kind of just broke after a while. But yeah, for now I'm getting ready to do my inclination change. It's right there at the node thing. But it's a very important part of the process, actually. If I didn't do this, then it'd be very hard to dock with the space station. Yeah, if you're wondering for more information about this station, it's my very first space station. It's been up in orbit for about 30 in-game years now, in real life a few months. Since I learned how to do docking, this is one of my first projects. And it's not a big station by any means, it's kind of small. And it's inhabited. It has 6 crew members and 4 modules on it, as well as solar panels. The building this thing took me a few hours in real life. I don't remember if I spread it out over the course of multiple days or not. This thing took a pretty good amount of time for me to build. It was still pretty fun though. Albeit I was getting a little tired of it towards the end of the process. But yeah, so now you're about to watch me raise my orbiter. Yeah, it actually takes me a minute to do because because another thing is that I forgot to launch at a transfer window to my station, so I had to stay up in orbit for a little while. Yeah, I was just a little bit excited to do this mission. It's been a while since I played this game, and I've been wanting to get something done. And I've been wanting to do something other than Terraria for a bit now. Since the last, like, 6 uploads have been part of my Terraria playthrough, nothing else. But yeah. So I'm about to raise my orbit for real. I guess I still have to warp around. And you know, I should have sped up parts of this footage too. It would have been a lot easier. Or actually, no. I was planning on, like, spending a longer time editing this, but I remember I had something to do tonight. So, yeah. This video will be edited like any of the others, taking it from a 1 hour long block of footage and reducing it down to a slightly more reasonable time. Usually I aim for 20 minutes of my footage blocks, but I guess 35 will have to do now. So, I don't know what else to talk about. So I guess for now, I should probably comment on what I'm actually doing, because this isn't as much a commentary channel. Right, I guess my footage varies, or my videos vary a lot in just commentary on random things to me actually talking about what I'm doing. I don't know why. Probably has something to do with the fact that I don't use a script, but still. I'm sorry about that, I got something got in my throat again. But yeah, I guess soon I'll be raising my orbit so that I can go to the station. And this mission wasn't really taking that long up to this point. I was hoping I'd get lucky and be able to dock pretty quickly, but that's not what happened. And you know, I'm actually kind of surprised I managed to get a full hour of footage off of this. And it fit almost perfectly with what I was doing, which really surprised me. I didn't have to try to do things faster than normal or shorten it at all. I just got pretty lucky here. Anyways, I'm about to do my burn. I really should have sped this part up here. It would have been so much better to watch. Yeah, and I also spend most of my time in map view. That might also be part of the reason I don't have much to talk about. And so, pretty soon I should... Yep, there we go. I started the burn. And I'm raising my orbit. And if you're wondering, I don't actually know why I decided to put my station at about 300 kilometers altitude. Probably has something to do with the scenario where I mess up my launch or something, or I don't launch at a transfer window, and when that happens, instead of taking like multiple in-game days to get back to a point where I can get to the station, it just takes a few hours or a few orbits and stuff. So not nearly as hard. And also because you can see more of Kerbin from that altitude. And maybe because it's more similar to a real-life space station's orbital altitude. Yeah, I guess that's more like 400 kilometers, but still. But yeah, now I'm heading out to the station. Where I thought ugh, never mind. But yeah, I'm going to the station. This part's gonna be a long one. And I really hope I actually sped this footage up. Well, if I didn't, I should be able to cut the audio out. Yeah, I don't really know what's up with this. Okay, so turns out this video is actually going to be 26 minutes because I had to cut the audio off, so I wasn't recording background audio for a second there. because I had to shorten one of the clips down. It was a clip of me docking with the space station, I think. And yeah, I completely forgot to speed it up. So I guess in this case, I'm saving you from spending the next 10 to 15 minutes watching me try. Or actually, no, I don't think this is a docking. I think this is me getting there, which isn't really as painful as it is tedious. And so, yeah, I sped that part up. I hope that I didn't screw any other parts of this thing up. And yeah, I'm probably doing some things wrong with this here. But yeah, I should be approaching the station hopefully soon. And I might actually check back up on how you do this stuff a little. Not the best in the world with docking at the moment. I'll get there. But then again, it has been a couple months since I've actually done anything in Kerbal Space Program, so yeah. Anyways, I guess I should be approaching the station soon. Yeah, I hate the fact that this process took me so long, but it did, unfortunately. This is always the worst part of these missions, is the tedious docking. And it's always so much easier with things like my space station, not space station, that's the one that sucks. It's so much easier with things like my nuclear mothership thing. Because with that one, there's a pretty clear direction of where the port should be and stuff. It's a lot easier to dock with that ship as opposed to with something else like the station. Sometimes I don't even need a monopropellant to dock with the mother of that thing, but I still bring it just in case. I don't want to be caught up here trying to dock with something and not have any monopropellant or anything or RCS thrusters. And now you're about to get to the part that really sucked. And honestly, I thought about just making a montage out of this, but I have no idea how to do that yet, for one thing. And because really, it's not really the type of failing and stuff that could earn a montage. Now, if I'm ever later on down the road trying Terraria Master Mode and like failing 50 times on the Moon Lord or something, then I might make a montage out of that, but otherwise, no. I'm just speeding up the footage here so that you can see me make like 50 mistakes in the process. Like flying right past the station and forgetting to turn my RCS thrusters on. And then once I got to the station, I made the mistake by setting the control point to the docking port. I tried that once, but it didn't really help me at all, and in fact it made the station pretty unstable in its own right. Albeit I think that's more a problem with how I built the station, because it does seem to help it a little bit, but when I do that, I'm unable to dock, so yeah. And so there I am, constantly having to move the station around and crap. You know, that's probably not gonna help me at all. And then I keep screwing up with the ship, and it ends up speeding up and crap. And I keep having to load in quick saves and stuff. But eventually I do get it, and I'm able to actually dock with the mothership, or the space station. I'm so used to calling it the mothership for some reason, even though that's not what it is. And so there I am, putting my mothership, or not mothership, my station and other thing together, or attempting to. And even when I do finally get things right, it still takes me a second. And I'm not actually sure if this is the one where I got things right or not. Guess I'm thinking that my problem might be that I'm approaching it too fast or something. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. That might be one of the problems. So I guess I'll have to get better at docking my ships together in the future. But I'm not really planning to build too many space stations. I'm going to build another one orbiting the Mun, because I've still never done a docking from like really large distances like that before. Like from going from Kerbin to the Mun and docking with something in lunar orbit, or lunar orbit, or whatever it's called. Like, that's something I've never done before. Or something that I have done, or or I've only ever done it from like planetary orbits and from surface to orbit stuff. And even when I do it from surface to orbit stuff, I always mess that up a little by not launching at the right window. Eventually I am going to try to figure that out, but until then, what I do if I overshoot or undershoot my destinations, that I just shoot myself into a really high orbit, and then try to dock from there. Which isn't the most efficient method, but since I'm in sandbox mode, I fill my ship up with like 4,000 meters a second worth of Delta V and fuel, so it doesn't really matter much. So hopefully pretty soon I'll be actually accomplishing this. I don't really know. Probably not, considering I don't see the line at the end of this footage. But yeah, this was the single most painful moment of this mission. I was starting to rage a little. Not really that bad, actually. I wouldn't call it rage as much as I would me a little pissed. I hit my wall, or I just punched my wall a little. I didn't send my keyboard through my monitor level of raging anyways, so that's a plus. Anyways, I'm actually about to get it this time, so that's a plus. Really, 90% of the work is getting the docking ports to touch. The other 10% is getting them to connect. And then just getting there is not hard at all. That's something that I've learned, that I've actually gotten pretty good at. And I got some in the headset too. But yeah, should finally be connected. And I'm sorry if the music. I'm also sorry if the music's really loud. I was going over this part and watching it, so it was pretty loud for me. So I guess I'm apologizing 17 minutes into the video for loud music. Albeit, you can always just turn your volume down. Anyways, I'm extending the solar panels just to make it look a little better. I don't know why I didn't retract them when I undocked the transport ship thing. Because if you're an absolute idiot who has 2 brain cells and haven't somehow not noticed, yeah, that's the ship that I'm using to get the crew off. But, I mean, if you're that dumb, you need help. I just have to break it. I'm just breaking that to you. But, yeah, I guess I'm gonna start to transfer a crew now. I don't know why I clicked off of that, and I also don't know why there's 2 command pods on that thing. Oh, wait, no. I just looking at that from a weird angle. I thought that I think that the module that is, I don't know how to point it out. The one with the radio antenna things on it. I thought that was a crew module for a second. That one's actually the scientific module. So it should be just about done transferring the crew now, I think. Yeah, I just got, I think, 1 more crew member to move. And it's the person in there. And so I have actually switched out the crew on this space station once before. But I didn't do it too good. That's actually, so actually when I did that, I actually changed one of the modules from some really useless one to second crew module, meaning that technically this station could house 12 crew, but getting them on and off of the station would be a really long process, and very painful too. It took me like 15 minutes just to dock this ship, and I'm not sure how I would build a 12 crew ship without making a shuttle or something, or using that giant rocket that I used to get down to Moho. But, well, actually, I don't think I need a rocket that powerful. I could probably send 100 Kerbals up there with that thing. And yeah, for some reason, I also decided to add that. I kind of forgot how big that thing was when I put it on there. Except the main part of that thing, the main part of the goal of having a really large heat shield was to slow the thing down, and to prevent it from flipping to the wrong side. Because that thing isn't really the best for re-entry, normally. Last few attempts at re-entry, it's flipped over and ended up crashing before I could extend the parachutes. Albeit that might also be because I made it or might also be because I burnt retrograde too long and ended position where it was re-entering at a really fast speed and wasn't slowing down fast enough. But yeah, did a little better that time. And I also added a ginormous heat shield that is completely unnecessary, considering that considering my slow speed. Albeit even from interplanetary distances, you don't need a heat shield that big unless you're going to, like, Eve or something. But yeah, I'm gonna call this video deorbiting the station, even though the majority of this video is bringing home Kerbals. Like, all but like maybe 5 minutes of the video is just me bringing home the Kerbals on the mission. But yeah, re-entry shouldn't be over. Re-entry never really takes too long, but it did speed up another part, the later parts of this after my ship stops going through these at high speed. I sped the footage up because there was another like 5 minutes to get to the surface, unfortunately. So, but anyways, there we go with things. And I actually screwed up on this part. I ended up doing that, and it blew up half the crew and the majority of the ship and the parachutes. I did it right that time. And if you're wondering, I did that part, the jettisoning the heat shield right that time. And I actually made it to the ground safely, surprisingly. Anyways, now to actually do what the video is about and deorbit the space station. Yeah, I sped part of this up. I didn't have to. But yeah, I'm gonna bring that thing home. And in fact, parts of it did survive, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to go clear that up. I'm wondering if I should have shot that thing to a higher orbit and then brought it home. But then that thing was already unstable and I was trying to deorbit it anyways, so yeah. Probably a good idea to have not done that. Here we are, and yes, I did leave the engine on 3 of the stages. I didn't make the engine parts detachable because there's really no point. Plus, if I did that, then I would have had to send a separate ship just to take the thing down. Which would have probably added another 30 minutes onto this video, honestly, considering how long the first part took. And I'm pretty terrible at editing, so this would have been like a 50-minute video if that's how I would have had to do this. But anyways, I'm about to start the re-entry, and I did not slow this part down. Unfortunately, there's no parachute, so it never gets too slow. So, yeah, I actually didn't start recording the re-entry footage until the ship started to burn up and stuff. But yeah, here we are, time for re-entry. Time to bring this ship home, finally. And yeah, I guess I was hoping that there'd be a few more explosions, but nothing really too big happened, except right there. And in fact, the majority of the ship was destroyed simply when it hit the ground, not by the re-entry process. And I was really hoping to see this thing blow up in the sky, too. Which is another reason I should have probably shot it up to a higher orbit. And you know, I actually do have a quick save where this station still exists, so I might try that. If you're wondering, I didn't want to lose this for good, so I made a quick save of this thing still being in existence. I mean, it's a pretty important thing to me. Just as important as the flat from the first Moon landing ever did was. Oh yeah, unfortunately that world's gone. Or unfortunately that save is gone. But, yeah. The station was actually really resilient, so I have to re-entry. Albeit they actually detached all of the modules once I got closer to the ground. I shouldn't have done that, now that I think about it. And you know, I've actually deorbited this thing twice. And right there I thought that this thing finally blew up, but it didn't. And so, about the deorbiting twice thing, when I first got that thing up there, I actually decided that I was gonna deorbit it, or I decided to deorbit it to see what it would be like. And initially, right then, I was planning to deorbit it right around to the middle of May or something, which was which is about 2 months-ish ahead of the time, or 2 months after I made the station. But I continued to wait because by that point I was starting work on some other project, so I wasn't able to do it. So I waited until today, or I guess yesterday is when I recorded the footage, but still. And so there's my ship heading down to the surface, part of the ship. And amazingly, of all the... And surprisingly, one part survived, with that part being the engine bell thing. It survived, flew up, and I don't know if it survived after that or not. I guess I'll have to go on the map at some point and see if any of the debris is still here. And then I might fly out to it if it's not too far from an airport. I might record that. You get to see my record that and I'd fly my good old biplane. I don't know which one or which model. Which, if you've seen my first video, which you probably haven't because I'm the only one who's actually viewed it, then yeah, I have a biplane for some reason. I don't really know what the point it was. I guess just to make a weird plane. And yeah, there you go. Even though it says it's a catastrophic failure, it's a pretty good success. Only one part got really annoying, surprisingly. Which is better than my first attempt at a moho mission where my ship blew itself up because I forgot to strut the thing. Anyways, goodbye. This video is just about over, as you may or may not be able to see. Anyways, have a nice rest of your day if you're the one person who watches this.